Hello again, I am Jim Bob and welcome to a first look map tour of Lone Oak Farm, newly released for Farming Simulator 17 on all formats. It's available on PC, Mac and console, and it's very special. The latest map here from BulletBill, obviously the author of previous maps such as Cobra and the West Coast, both sort of famous for their attention to detail and focus on creating a realistic setting. Obviously Cobra is a genuine farm, West Coast is kind of a fictional farm but based on real world kind of settings. This is a genuine American farm set in Oregon, I think towards the north of Oregon. It's not too far from Mount Hood, and as you can see from the screenshot that we're looking at, it's called Lone Oak because of the single oak tree that sits on one of the hills. Now I haven't been able to find this on Google Maps because I don't know what the genuine name of the farm is, but it is based on a genuine farm, as as stated by BulletBill. This weighs in at 525 megabytes if you're on PC, because it has a couple of little extra bits that we don't get on console. For console users, 517 megabytes. It is fully seasons compatible, so it does have snow masks programmed into it, bales will rot and all that good stuff. So let's jump in and take a look at this very special map. And this is where we start off, in the sort of back garden area of the farm. We've got a little sort of vegetable patch, a few different crops growing away just here, a little shed to potter around in, and this here is the garage on the side of our house. And this house is just incredible. We knew going into this that it was going to have a detailed house, but I don't think we realised just how much detail would be in this. I mean, there is so much to see in this house that I'm not going to show all of it because we'll end up spending 15 minutes just in the house on its own. But it is very special indeed. As you can see, we've got this wonderful garage area where we can park up a truck or two. We've got all these tools and workbenches dotted around. All these doors open. You can see we've got a door just over there that opens up. This one opens up just here. We do have working lights in here as well, as you can see. Just really special. And then if we head down here, we have a bit of a man cave. We have a small home cinema system, showing off on a screenshot here from what I think is actually the real Cobra Park. Bill took some photos of Cobra in the winter and posted real world photos, and I think that's what that's from, if memory serves me correct. And you can see that we have a nugget on each of the 6 seats that's down here. Now I'm not sure, but I'm going to guess that there are 6 members of Frontier, the Frontier design and testing team, and that's why we have 6 seats down there. Might be wrong with that, but I do know that Bill has had quite a bit of support from other members of the Frontier team while putting this map together. And all through the house you'll see photos and screenshots and posters taken from this map and also from other maps that Bill has done as well. So this one here is obviously Cobra, this one here is Lone Oak. If we head through into sort of the front room, you can see blazoned on the TV there is the mod hub, showing off the West Coast, Cobra Park and the Marston Ace trailer pack that he released last year. We also have Frontier design mugs, as you can see, and then a big sort of wall poster there of the West Coast, and again some small photos from Cobra and Lone Oak dotted around. On PC that fireplace is lit and animated. It's not on console, but that doesn't matter. It's a tiny little difference. We've even got a little phone just here, and it's a very detailed phone. Look how sharp and detailed that actually looks. I'm trying to see if I can read what that says on there. I can't quite make out the name. It's something account 1. But let's have a quick move upstairs as well. You can see we've got a nice little study area up here. We've got a couple of different PCs that are working away, coding away on the Lone Oak map, getting it nice and ready for release. There's also another mod hub on the TV there. If we head into here, you can see we've got a bedroom here with a nice shot there from Cobra Park with a Marston trailer, I do believe. There was another nugget in there as well. We even have a cupboard with a vacuum in it. This is what I mean about attention to detail. We actually have a cupboard, a small little cupboard with a vacuum in. There didn't have to be anything in there. There didn't even need to be a little room there, but Bill put it in there, and he put in a vacuum in the cupboard. And it's just things like that. Just, you know, it just shows you the attention to detail. It's not just having an empty room for the sake of having an empty room. There is so much to see in here. Into the kitchen. You can see again another nugget, more sort of map posters, more Frontier mugs dotted all over the place. But that's enough of the house for now. That's the garage. I want to go out the front. There is something really special about the front here as well. If you press circle, you can open up the front door, and then you have a screen door, and you press square and you can actually control both doors independently, which is good, so that you don't actually get stuck trying to keep closing one door and opening it while trying to access the other one. So square controls the screen door, opens and closes it, and then circle controls the front door behind the screen door. Just a nice little touch, that. And here we are out into the farm area, and it's a wonderfully detailed, wonderfully put together farm area as well. It's got a mixture of old and new buildings that just seem to fit nicely. Everything has a sense of purpose. Really nice little shed layouts, and that over there, that big red building, we'll come to that in just a moment. But this sort of building here, you can see this is the bay for some of our first bits of equipment here. So we have a fuel tank just here, as you can make out. We also have the first of our tractors. We have a case 1455 with wide tyres. We have a couple of front loader attachments in here, a bucket and a bale fork. Nice round baler just there, a New Holland round baler. And then we also have a sliding door. I love the sound effects on this map as well, complete with working lights on the interior, and you can see we've got a nugget in the corner just there as well. This side door doesn't open. Wow, how cool does that sound? Absolutely love that. We have a big slurry tank over here. This is for our cows. This is actually the cow shed. Let's take a look at this now, because this is incredible. All of these doors open up, as you can see. Although I've just blocked one off. We've got this storage area down the side here, really long storage area, and we have a water trailer in here. And I love how the equipment is actually a bit dirty. We haven't got brand spanking, shiny, clean equipment. It's all seen some use. So you can see this is dirty. We saw that the roll belt is dirty. It's not pristine equipment, which feels right, I think. Feels right that the equipment isn't all pristine and shiny. And as we pop into here, you can see a nugget on the floor just there. We have our cow barn. This is a very, very different cow barn to what we're used to seeing. Love this high ceiling and this sort of wooden framework that runs in between. And this is where our food and our hay is put in. This is obviously the hay side, sorry, the straw side. This is the food trough just here. This is where our TMR will go, and the point where we tip in our silage and other foodstuffs as well. And then if we pop around here, we have our dialogue box here, complete with working gates. So this is where we can purchase our cows, and we have this wonderful little entry system to kind of herd them into the pasture around here. And this gate will open as well, so you can actually access this from different directions if you want to. You can feed them directly into this area, you know, however you want to go. So we head around the side of the building. You can see we've got our water trough just here, and then just over here is the separate grass trough for the cows. We have this other sort of gate system over here. Again, these gates do work, as you can see. This one actually is permanently open, but this gate here can be opened and closed on the side of this little shed just here. And that's where the slurry tank is, and there is the manure pit just there for the cows as well. So all of our cow sort of stuff has been looked at. It's a really, really nice, different style of cow barn, and I really like the fact that it's different. It's something a little bit new, you know, something we haven't seen before. As we move around here, we've got this wonderful old style, old feeling storage bin or storage area that's seen a lot of use over the years. You get the feeling that this is one of the original buildings, and that as the farm has expanded over the years, other buildings have been added in that have a slightly newer, more modern feel to them. But I do love, we had this big open rustic kind of feeling building with another nugget over there. There are so many nuggets dotted around just the farm itself. There are 31 nuggets here at the farm and in that farmhouse that we started at. 31. So you don't even have to kind of look very hard. You'll find more than 10, I think, just in the house itself. Over here you can see we've got a disc buy mower. We actually start with 2 of these. Not quite sure where the other one is just yet, but again you can see it's muddy, it's dirty, it's seen some use. And we have a silage bunker here for us to be able to make some silage here at the main farm. Good to see that. And dotted all the way around the farm are these sort of bits of framework. You can see there's loads of these kind of dotted around, and it just gives that kind of feeling of a genuine farm. You do see things like this on farms. You see just barrels and pallets just stacked in places around the farm. And as we get closer, you can just hear the air cooling of the silo there to keep the grains nice and dry. This is not interactive in any way, but it just looks awesome. That button there, it looks just, you want to be able to press it. It doesn't do anything, you can't do anything here, but here is the retrieval point for our grains. This is the down pipe here. These grain elevator style pipes. And here is the loading point. So this is where we drop our grain off. And again, you can't do anything to interact with these switches, but it's just such a nice kind of look. It makes me want to just try and switch everything. We have another one of these storage buildings again, barrels and metal frames and tyres, IBC containers just dotted all over the place. If we head around this side, you can see this is where we have our other disc line. So there is the second one. Again, really dirty. We have a Flegel articulated trailer just here, and that's because we do actually start with a truck, which we'll see in just a moment, and a Metaltech chaser bin or auger wagon, depending on what you want to call it, depending on where it is you tend to farm in the real world. If you're American, you refer to it as a chaser. We refer to them as augers in the game. And then we have this building over here, and these doors here don't open, but these ones do. This is the main building. And again, I love the sound effects, absolutely fantastic. The side doors open as well, and this is one of our 2 main sort of big buildings. And I love the fact that we start with 2 combine harvesters, each with a corn header and a grain header as well. We start with 2 of these. It's so important on a map like this for us to actually have 2 combines, because the fields are pretty big, pretty good sized fields. Even the smaller ones are still pretty decent sized. We also have the Carouel sprayer just there, as you can see. We have the Lely Lotus, which is the largest of the tedders. I think, no, it's the second largest of the tedders. We also have the Kuhn windrower just there as well. Again, you can see all of the equipment has seen some use, so you can see the dirt on this. It's not freshly pressure washed. We'll also start with the Vogel cultivator. It's unusual to see this on the starting equipment. I don't think we've seen this starting on a map since Lawfolds. I think that's the last time we saw that starting out on a map. And obviously we have our fertilizer spreader here from Breedel, and we have the Great Plains 3-meter seeder just there as well. We do have a plough somewhere as well. I'm just trying to remember where that is. It's in a separate building. Just pop that open and move around. And onto the second half of this building here. This is our workshop area, and you can see we have another Case 1455. This one with front loader attachment. You can see we have some Stoll front loader forks there. And this is our workshop area for the farm, and it just looks great. it really does look absolutely fantastic. Feels like a proper workshop with workbenches and tools and tool cabinets, and all this equipment sort of dotted around. We have an upstairs section as well with parts on shelving units, and we have another nugget lurking just over there as well. We even have a crane hoist here if we need to do any engine work, so we can actually lift out the engine. Moving around, you can see we have more spare parts, more lathe equipments, working lights. Let's get the light switched on. As you can see there, we just turned on these side lights there. I love the fact that these lights are on the side walls and not just on the ceiling. That's absolutely fantastic. You can see here we just turned on the lights for the little office inside here. So again, you can see we've got a little computer station, again working away on coding, a case calendar, and a nice little sofa and some tool cabinets. And then around here you can see still more sort of workshop equipment, IBC containers, oil drums, more spare parts, and our truck, our twin star truck. And again, we have lights in here as well. Absolutely fantastic. And this is, as I say, this is indicative of the level of detail throughout the entire map. It really is an absolute joy to see. So I think we've seen all of the starting equipment. There might be a little bit left. I'm trying to remember. I think that covers pretty much everything. But there we go. That is the farmhouse, essentially. That is the main sort of block. So I'm just going to quickly run up the hill. Obviously we know that this is called Lone Oak because of a singular oak tree that sits on top of a hill, and you can see Mount Hood in the distance. We're just going to quickly run over to that tree. I can see there it is. There is that tree there. So I will meet you as we get there. And here we are at the Lone Oak. Kind of just cuts into the side here of Field 49. And there in the distance, there is Mount Hood. Just over, way off in the distance there. So that is the Lone Oak, the tree that gives this farm its name. And there are some stunning views on this map, even though it is relatively flat in some areas. It's got some kind of hills, but they're quite gentle hills. But again, as with Oxygen David's maps, this uses sort of dynamic bordering, where you can get to a certain point and then it tries to create that seamless border technique that we saw with Lone Oak. With Oakfield, and it works really, really well on this map. It looks absolutely fantastic. And when you stand here, you can't really tell where the borders are to a full extent. Some of these fields might look like they are part of the map. They might not actually be part of the map. It's really hard to tell from certain angles exactly where the borders start and finish. It's very, very well done indeed. So what I'm going to do now is, because we've got a good sized map to cover, is I'm going to lease a truck, because we don't actually start with a truck, which is perhaps a little disappointing. But I'm going to lease one of these, and we'll have a quick drive around inside. Now this can actually be reset to the farmhouse. The reset point is a little grass field just by the farm. So, oops, that's at the store. I meant to reset it. There we go. So this is where we reset vehicles to. So as you can see, we're kind of back at the farm area. So let's go for a little drive and see where we want to go next. So what I'm going to do is, I'm just going to point something out actually. I'm not entirely sure why this happens, but I've been playing around with this map a little bit, and for some reason, when you plough these fields, the plough texture always goes that way. Always. And it's not just this field, it's all the fields on this part. I've ploughed a few of these different fields. I've ploughed fields 43, 34, 33 and 32, and they all plough, the plough texture always goes that direction. Even if you're ploughing from side to side, the plough texture always applies that way. It's very, very strange. Not quite sure why it does that, but it does actually do that. It's a bit weird. And it uses the same plough texture that we saw on Oakfield, that new kind of texture that oxygen David worked in. So we're going to head up this side here, and we're going to pop over towards the pig farm. You can see it just coming into shot here, and just have a quick look at this. There's the farm from a distance. It looks great. And then we have this farm just over here as well. I actually missed the turning, so I'm going to nip through. I can't. Fenced, isn't it? I have to go back. We have a little turn off here. We do have some main roads, but not very many of them. These are all sort of side roads and sort of tarmac roads just for farm access rather than main traffic access. So let's take a quick look around here. And you can see we have this really big open building in here. Great place to store a whole load of equipment. Again, we have working lights. So these lights are turned on here. I'm not sure. I think there's the control to turn on these lights just on the wall over there. And these doors do open as well. So we have one permanently open end. And then we have this kind of shuttered side area just here as well. Complete with those, as I say, those working lights just there. We have a fuel tank just over here. We have some fertilizer tanks as well, as you can see. Heading down here, we have a manure pit for the pigs. We also have our food trough and our water trough. There is the slurry tank just around there. And here is the dialogue box for our pigs. So this is where we can drop off any pigs that we want to add in. Doesn't open up just here, but we can forgive that. And then here is where we tip the straw. So you can see we've got this nice sort of designated little area just here. This is where we dump the straw for our pigs. And it's kind of nice to see that they have this little area over here, complete with like buckets just hanging on hooks. I mean, this is again what I mean by attention to detail. Just little features like this bucket just hanging on a little hook like that. The attention to detail on this map is absolutely amazing. It really is, and it runs really, really well as well. I know that Bill had some issues with lag that he just couldn't quite get rid of on the west coast, but there's practically no lag on this map at all, or at least none that I've experienced so far. You can see that we have some seed refill points just over there as well. So this is our little pig farm. It's a really nice little area. Great place to store some equipment, and if you want to make this an actual main base of operations, you've got plenty of storage space with those buildings just there, and this building just over here as well. So really, really nice working space over here. And we're going to head out this way. See, that's the original road that we were taking on the side of the forest. It will join up with us again. Actually, no, it doesn't. That actually goes down to the main road, as you can see. But we'll take a look at that in a moment. What I want to quickly pop over here, though, is show you Ian and Sons Lumber Company. So this is our wood mill just over here. So we pop the map open. You can see. If we scroll up, we've got our sawmill and our wood chip sell points just here. This is obviously our wood sell point just here. And you've got this conveyor system. Now I know that this moves on PC, but it doesn't on console. Again, it doesn't matter that it doesn't move, but obviously with PC they can do slightly more than we can on console, and you know, without the performance restrictions. But again, you get those sound effects. You just hear logs and planks being worked through the machinery there. And there's our wood chip sell point just around the other side there, and you can see we have a delivery system from inside the building to actually drop wood chips into that pile. Again, just really nice little details. And you can see we've got a whole load of planks kind of on these frames, and we have another nugget just over there. We will do the nuggets at the end, as we always do. So we'll jump back into this. And here is the main road. You see we've got genuine American style signals on the sides of the roads as well. Proper signposting. And I just want to quickly pop into first person so you can see what this looks and feels like driving around in first person. It feels fantastic. This turn point here, that leads us up to the back towards the main farm again. And as we head along the top here, oops, I'm on the wrong side of the road, just drifting a touch there. You can see we're heading along towards the BGA and Agri XJS. And you can just see some big silos coming into view. But how awesome does this map look driving around in first person like this? It just looks and feels absolutely genuine. So here is XJS Agri, because quality matters. This is obviously a little tribute to Matt XJS. And we have GSI branding all over here. Now, I'm not sure if this actually refers to a genuine company or if this refers to another modder, the GSI logo, but it's all over the place. But Agri XJS is a tribute to Matt XJS. You can see there with the Matt and obviously the XJS. That is a pretty nice, obvious little plug there. We have our sell point for grains just here. And then just over here, I'm just going to quickly hop up. You can drive around the side, but this is the BGA. So you can see we've got two really big sized bunkers with spotlights that will come on automatically at the right time of day when it gets dark enough. And then just over here, this is our tip point, and we've got this nice kind of little lip. You can see that the shredder is sunken into the ground, so you should be able to tip a trailer into there without too much issue. And then this is our slurry, not our slurry, our digestate pickup point as well. So this is where we can retrieve the digestate. We get a nice little Gavco symbol there. So there we go, that is our BGA. Very nice little BGA. Let's quickly pop back down to the truck again. And from here, again you can hear sound effects there of the ventilation system for those silos. From here, what we're going to do is we're going to head down to the, to the animal dealership. And this is another awesome little feature. You can see the dealership just there. We'll come back and take a look at that in just a moment. And you can see we've got a little egg sell point there at the diner. But just a little bit further up here, my driving is terrible. Here is Winterhawk's auction for livestock, and this is absolutely brilliant. I love this place. It's got this big sort of open side here, and all the way through here this is our dialogue box, so we can actually pick up our animals and drive a trailer, and a long trailer, into here from either side and pick up our animals. And I love the fact that we have these pens here. You can see we've got benches. This is for the parade of animals being brought through for the bidding process for the auctioneer. And you can see that not only do we have a nugget up here on the podium, we even have a little auction gavel as well. Just a fantastic little design. I love this auction house. This is actually a proper auction house. Absolutely love it. Brilliant. Right, so we'll go take a quick look at the dealership, and the dealership is, you know, fantastic. So much detail at the dealership. Very, very heavily branded with Case, as you can see. I'm just not used to driving this truck in first person, and that's why my driving is pretty terrible. But if we jump out, you can see here we have Brent, Challenger, Caterpillar and Case IH Agriculture banners just here. Obviously we don't have Caterpillar in the game, but we do have Brent from the Avalanche auger wagons from the Big Bud DLC. We obviously have Challenger, and we have Case. And Caterpillar, well, I suppose they're kind of, you know, the previous version of Challenger, so kind of it makes sense. It's a big American brand, so it makes sense that it would be flying the flag for that there. We also have Steel just there as well for the chainsaws. Another Brent logo just on the side. And have a look at this dealership. This is just absolutely fantastic. Mannings of Lone Oak. This really does feel like a genuine dealership. It's absolutely chock full of details. We've got Lovely case imagery all over the place. Little nod to Agco parts there as well for Challengers. Just absolutely fantastic. You can see we've got loads and loads of boxes of case supplies. Again, a sort of an engine winch just here. And then around the back here, this is our pickup point for customizing or selling or returning leased equipment just here. And then we have another garage inside here. This, if we just open this door up, because these do open, you can see this here is the service bay. Then we have a parts bay just over there as well. But if we pop into the service bay, you can see we have all this diagnostic equipment dotted around, tools, again more case branding everywhere. And then if we head around the other side into the parts section, you can see boxes and boxes of spare parts and oil drums dotted around on these shelves. We also have an upstairs equipment area as well, although there's nothing up here, but we do have that, you know, there. And if we cut through here, we have a little service office. And again, when I say attention to detail, look at this, we're actually on the official Case website just here. A little bit of stutter whenever you get to these PCs, same as at the house, but how cool is that? The attention to detail that we actually have the official Case website showing on the PC terminals inside the Case dealership. It's just, like I said, this map is chock full of little details that really do make it so special. It's just the most comprehensively complete dealership that we've ever seen on console. Absolutely fantastic. This is one of my favourite things about the entire map, is just how good this dealership building is. Absolutely incredible. And then this area around the front here, this is where all the equipment that we purchase spawns. So we've got a nice sort of big area around there for all of our equipment to spawn into. So where are we going to head next? Let's see. We need to go down to the sheep. So we're going to head down here. And you can see we've got a turn off coming up on either side, but this is the way we need to go to get to the sheep. Big grass field here. You can see it's a bit bumpy on these dirt roads when you hit some speed, so you do need to be careful. And here we are at Lone Oak Lamb, and this is again really nice and detailed. You can't go in that house there, it's just a static prop building, but it looks great. And then over here, again, I love the sound effects that we have on this. We have our sort of workshop storage area in here. So again, we have tools and workbenches. We have our crane rig there. We have our access point to customize our equipment. We have some seed pallets just over here. Oh, excuse me. And then outside we have our fertilizer and water access points here as well, as you can see. And then in here, this is our our water trough just here for our sheep, and then our grass trough / hay trough right next to it as well. This is our sheep pen. And if we turn here, this is the dialog box where we can pick up our sheep. And this gate will open, so you can open and drive your trailer sort of into the entrance area of this field. It's not a huge paddock for the sheep by any stretch of the imagination. It's you know, not massive, but you do have this area here as well for them. So it's kind of, it looks like it's not that big, but it's actually kind of double-sided, as you can see. I think the majority of the sheep will be in this area here, and we can use this as an access point for that field just there, as you can see. We've got a gate access to get in there and do some work on the field. So that's our little sheep farm just over here by fields 22 and 23. So the next stop on our little tour is going to be the barn. So let's just back up, drive out, and I'm going to switch back to exterior view now, so I can actually see where I'm going without crashing. My camera angle is a little bit too far forward for me to drive comfortably in cab in the truck because they're so twitchy. Never been particularly fond of the steering of the trucks. It always seems a little bit too unrealistic. I just want you to take a little sidestep over here. This is just a little bit of scenery. Can't interact with this. But it's just a nice little house with some storage buildings and mini barns. It's just a really nice little side detail that we have just over here. Just part of the scenery of the map, complete with mailbox on the side of the road there as well. And I love these telegraph poles as well. These are absolutely brilliant. So the barn is coming up. It's going to take this little dirt road just here. We drive our way in, and you can see we have a little access gate just here, which will open up for us. And then here is the barn sell point. Pretty much like the kind of barn that we're used to kind of seeing on Goldcrest and so on and so forth. Very similar kind of feel, but obviously a different colour. And I do believe it is a different building. It's not the one that we've seen on Giants maps, but has that kind of reminiscent kind of feel to it. Open-sided on both ends. Just drive in to sell your bales or your loose material. So there we go. That's the barn. And again, you can just see little storage outhouse, a small little, I want to say cabin, but it's probably not quite right to call that a cabin, just a small house there. You can see we have a little sort of area there in the middle of that field where we have someone's little cabin, a little carport just there, and a little shed for equipment as well. Just sort of island inside the crops there. So from here we're going to continue to follow the road down, and again I'm just going to switch back just for this driving through kind of experience through here. A little bit of stutter as we go through that area, but there's a lot of trees there, so it's not that surprising. And here is the double sell point here. We have the spinnery for selling off our wool. And you can see here, this is the sell point for selling off that wool just there at Green Oak Woolen Mill. And then just over here we have a manure sell point as well. So two different sell points at this location. This doesn't open. Again, you can't interact with these particular buildings around here, but it feels like they do, just by looking at them. Normally when you see buildings with doors that don't open, the doors tend to look quite low res. With these ones, they actually look pretty sharp, they look pretty clear, and you do almost think that they will open up. So we have just a couple of places left to look at now. We have Lone Wolf Co., which is a sell point at the bottom there. You can see we have a taco stand as well there. Let's just take a quick look at the taco stand, see if there's anything on the menu. We have Tacos by Taco Farmer. I hate tacos, said no Juan ever. Oh, Jesus, that is a terrible joke. That is absolutely terrible. Closed, away on Giants Forum, nagging map makers. Oh, that's fantastic. So yeah, nice little taco stand there, complete with terrible puns. So let's go check out those last two sell points. You can just see the silos actually in the distance. And again, you've got these. It feels like it's almost like a flat map because it's just fields, but it's not. You can see very clearly that the ground does go up and down, and there is some very definite sort of changing in elevation as we move around. So I've gone a little bit too far. I need to quickly swing around. Again, you can see those GSI logos there. I think it might just be a brand of silo. And this is Lone Wolf sell point here. So this is the Pacific Grain Company. Again, here is our sell point just here. And once again, you can hear the ventilation system keeping everything nice and cool and dry inside the silos. Really nice laid out cell point here. This is the only thing that we need to interact with, is just the cell box just here, but the whole plant just looks absolutely fantastic, as you can see. Nice little entryway and exit point. So we'll quickly spin around and head over the other side of the road. We go over the weighbridge and crash into a bollard. Nice automatic barriers as well, so we don't have to worry about jumping out to open those. And a little nod to Oxygen David here at Hollister Root Crop Cold Storage. So if we head around the side here, this is the sell point over here for our root crops. So you can see we can sell just here, or just here. This one here is for sugar beets, and this one here I'm guessing is going to be potatoes. Yes, it is. There we go. So we actually have independent sort of sell points for each of the two root crops. That's really, really nice. There we go. That is the last of the sell points just there. So that is the map, essentially. I mean, obviously there's a lot more to see, and there are lots and lots of little details that I haven't shown you that are absolutely amazing. There is one thing actually over here I do want to quickly jump to before we head back to the farmhouse, and that is just this little stream over here. So obviously to gain access to that particular field, we need to kind of go through this little brook area, and you can see we've kind of got almost like a little dam here. You can see we've got some stuff that's been thrown into the ground, and the water's just spilling over the surface, and we've kind of got, you know, this little stone causeway on either side as well to kind of give you a barrier so you don't drive off the edges of that little raised area into the side of the water. Now this water isn't genuine water, as you can see. If we get deep enough we will actually just disappear into it, but it looks absolutely fantastic. Look at the reflection. How awesome is this water in terms of the visual effect? And we have this little creek that just runs along here. It's absolutely brilliant. It's a wonderful little scenic detail. It just looks absolutely fantastic. And as I say, it isn't genuine water. You know, if we can get deep enough, you can see we do just go underneath the surface of it. But it just looks absolutely incredible. And it's just an amazing little scenic area. You're just following this creek. It is absolutely just beautiful. Really relaxing to spend some time over here. And here's kind of like the end point of that little creek as it disappears off into that sort of forest area. But yeah, I mean, the whole map is just full of details like this. Over here, Field 37, we didn't look at this earlier. We kind of hinted at it, but we have this little sort of pond lake area. Again, the water isn't genuine water, so you can't use it, but it looks absolutely stunning. I love this reflective kind of design for this water. It really does, at certain angles, look absolutely stunning and incredible. And then just over here we have a nice little cabin. There is a nugget in here as well, and you can see that this is under construction. It's still being built. So we have a little fire on the stove going up through the chimney there, and we just have this little sort of area under construction again, with some Frontier mugs and a little bit of coffee equipment, just somewhere for people to come and have a quick break. It's almost like a break room that's being built just over here, with a little jetty on the side, and a little pad going over there, and then we can have a nice little walk around the side on this field here, or we can cut through the gate and follow this back to the main farm. We're sort of cutting along this way and then up this side path just here as well, and this takes us back to the main farm, which gives us ample opportunity for us to do a quick look at the gold nuggets. So as I said, 31 nuggets are in and around the farm itself. Absolutely loads of them. And you can just see we just saw one just inside that little building there. I'm just going to grab that one there. We know there's another one in here, so we'll grab that as well. Just remember which side. There it is. So that's 2 already. And the rest I'm going to grab from inside the house. So there are 6 in the basement in the home cinema system. There's one in the toilet. There's one in here, just there on the shelf. Nuggets are absolutely everywhere, and then when they pop in on the map, you'll see just how densely clustered they are around the natural farm area itself. We're up to 9 already, and we've barely tried to find any nuggets. You know, they're just there. So, is this the kitchen? Yes, it is. I don't think there's one in the kitchen. Yes, there is. There we go. That's 10 nuggets. Really quick and easy. And look how many there are just around the farm itself. 31 in total in this area, and that does include this one here. But yeah, a huge number of nuggets clustered around here. And then we've got a few kind of dotted around in the odd location. A whole sort of load around here. I highly recommend that when you do collect the nuggets, you collect them on foot. Don't drive from location to location. Walk from location to location, because you really will get to appreciate some of the details that I haven't had time to point out on this map tour. Already we've been going for over 3/4 of an hour, and we've kind of covered the important stuff, but we haven't really seen everything that this map has to offer. And the best way for you to experience that is, even if you don't want to actually keep the nuggets, do a separate file, do the nugget challenge, find the nuggets and do it on foot and explore, and really appreciate some of the detail that goes into the foliage and the decoration that goes into the map, not just the fields and not just the sell points, but everything. It feels so authentic. I mean, it is based on a real world location. You know, it's as true to that as we could possibly make it, barring for the game mechanics, but even so, you know, it needs to be fully appreciated by taking your time to explore it. So I do highly recommend that you do the nugget challenge on a separate file if you don't want to worry about the nuggets in your own game. Get a separate file going, collect the nuggets on foot, so you can really explore this map and see just how beautiful it is all the way through. Truly special feeling on this map. It really is. There is one tricky nugget actually, and I will show you how to get that, because it is possible to get all of these nuggets on foot without any equipment whatsoever, you know, to get you up to high places. Now all of them are on the ground apart from one that is over here, and that one is on the roof of one of these two buildings. I think it's this one. It's on this roof here. So the way to get that is to actually climb up here like that, jump onto that roof, jump across. It is possible to make the jump, and then the nugget is just there. I'm going to have one more try, see if I can do it. But it is possible to collect all the nuggets on foot. You don't need to, to bring in a crane or anything like that, or a telehandler to be able to make it. It didn't actually jump at all that time. One more go, and we'll see if we can actually do this. No, not quite, but it is possible to do it, because I've done it twice. On 2 separate files I've collected the nuggets, and that is how you get to that one there without the need. Obviously it's not too high, so if you've got a big tractor you could drive that over, or a combine you could drive that over and jump on the roof and then onto that quite easily. But it is possible to collect them all on foot. But yeah, there we go. That is Lone Oak Farm. There are the nuggets. I highly recommend, as I say, you collect them on foot and just truly take your time to explore what is a beautiful, beautiful map. It really is an absolute credit to everybody that's worked on it. It's such a good experience, and I'm really going to look forward to starting a brand new Let's Play series on this map, which will be coming to the channel very, very soon. So that's it from me. Thanks for watching. I am Jim Bob, and I'll be back with a brand new Let's Play on the Lone Oak very soon.